I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap this up. This is the last one. I remember this as like being a third and a fourth one really quick. Turns out that I just was exiting improperly and I wasn't talking to the person before I left. You don't actually have to leave and then go back and talk to them, or they fixed it in the amount of time that I last played it. Yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, there's a lot of good things. My wife got me an early Christmas gift, and I want to show it to you guys. It's kind of crazy. Last week I showed you I had the box set for the original DDO game when it came out. Now my wife has bought me a bourbon that is the official Dungeons and Dragons bourbon. It's made by Dragon's Milk and D20 Brew. Bourbon barrel aged stout, double barrel aged for over a year. This is the 50th year anniversary. It's 20% by volume. That's 40 proof. And it's a Gatherer Adventurers. Kind of a cool thing. It's actually made by, partially, I guess, by Wizards of the Coast. Or at least they're licensed by that, I'm assuming. I don't know. It's got some sort of wax seal on it. It feels like wax on the top. And some sort of twist tie. I don't even know how to access this. I'm not big into the fancy drinks when it comes to that. And that was a relatively expensive bottle because it was a limited edition, collector's edition, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of a crazy one. Let's go ahead and get into this video, though. So in this video, again, I'm killing more undead. I'm going now to release the spirit of Delera, and then go from there. The very first part, certain classes can reach that chest. I don't think I'm playing a class. You have to have some sort of teleport or dimension door or something of that nature. It's been a long time since I've done this one, and this one's a little less linear as far as self-explanatory. Still pretty easy. You can only really go only one way. You can go the wrong way for a while, but you end up having to go back a certain way. I talked about that in other versions. I think the newer quests they bring out, and some other ones for sure, had that. This again kind of has that original feel that came out. And you can see here we have these Heroes Shard or whatever. I think that's the name of the difficulty, but they're the soul locks or whatever, and you're basically unlocking these gates like seals or whatever so that you can then access Delera and then defeat her to make her go to peace or whatever type of thing. You get the general idea. But yeah, there's a little bit of you activate things and you have to fight a bunch of things, this type of stuff. It's very standard, I think, for...
A bright flame flares upwards as the first soul lock is opened.
This dungeon and this game. Again, there are some other ones that are far more... I have found one of the entrances into Ravenloft, and that seems very interesting. It was actually in House J towards Tempest Spire. Tempest Spire is one of the earliest raids you can do. I want to say it's like a level 9 or level 10 raid. A raid is no more than 2 groups. So as long as you have 2 people, you can form a raid. You just have one person join each party, and then you're good to go. And you can literally complete the raid with just 2 people. You might not be doing it on Elite, and you might not be doing it without potions and all those type of things. But yeah, and you can see here I got turned around. I missed my lever. I'll come back and I'll get that in just a second. It's a bit obnoxious, but it is a thing, I guess. So yeah, you can't have the little bot healer type stuff like I have right now. So it requires actual people. But once the person has left, once you've created the raid, they can leave. It doesn't matter. And you can go in there as one person. Now, you're probably not going to defeat the end guy. Even in my situation where I am a reincarnate. Unless you have got someone there. And preferably, you have a couple people there. And one of them able to heal. Because there are for sure some stuff. But a lot of the other stuff, like, for example, the part that you gotta breathe water, the part where you gotta jump through lava, I have the items to navigate that with no problem. And if people were to die, I could grab their stones and go for it. If you had people with ship buffs, and you had the top end ship buffs, plus you had that, the dungeon raid isn't terribly hard at all. It is actually fairly easy in many ways. I've done this a lot, this raid. It's been a long time. But you kind of, once you do it, you kind of learn it. And you can do it several times in a day. You can actually do it so many times a week. There is a point in which you get diminished returns. The reason why people did it early on, especially so much, was because there was some really good loot that could drop from there. Also, it was a ton of XP, so people would turn on their potions to be able to really do it right. And that was a big thing. And you get just a burst of XP the first time you did it. But it was worth doing. And I want to say, like, a burst of XP would be like well over, well, for a first life character, it would be basically a level. If you were level 12 and you were doing an elite, you would go from 12 to 13. You wouldn't actually level. You would do it again, and then again, and then that would cap you for your XP. And then from there, you would go ahead and you would realize that you're capped XP, go back, level, and then you jump right into a different area and go have fun there. I'm actually going to be doing the same thing here. You can see I've got all my bubbles of XP to the right full. I actually have an entire level, and then I have, I think I'm at 3 complete bubbles and then that blue bar. So when that blue bar gets over and creates a bubble, if it says that I'm at XP cap, I'll probably level and then go do one thing to level again. And that will be me going from 13th level to 15th level. And the reason why I'm doing that is 14th level is terrible. At least it was. There was not a lot of things to do at that level. You kind of miss on several things. So I probably will go ahead and just skip 14th level, and then eventually we'll check out and see what that is maybe in future life. But I'm probably going to go ahead and skip and go directly to 15. And then I'll go ahead and jump into the big boy stuff, the late 20s, the early 20s and late teens is what I meant to say. Because there's a bunch of things there. The green steel weapons I use and the pieces I have, all those are quite literally a thing that I want to do. And every 20th time you complete the green steel raid, which is a thing that comes up later, you get a purifying token.
The third soul lock is open. 2 more locks, and Delera will be released.
Which allows you to purify an item. And then you can then purify something you're wearing. For example, when I'm not worried about haste because I have it in other places, or I have to worry about death block and all that, I have a pair of boots which are like the perfect pair of boots, but they don't have any sort of movement speed, so you move real slow with it. But it's a very important piece because it really kits you out and has on your character, and not in a way that can be dispelled. So if you're fighting things like beholders, for example, which have an anti-magic ray, you can be instant killed while the anti-magic ray is on you. However, when the ray is not on you, you immediately go back to having death block and can't be killed again. So you can be disintegrated, but you can't be killed in that way. And so that's a big deal. And, you know, that item is very important. Well, I can then use that purification to purify the item instead of having it tainted. And what that means is that I can then equip 2 pieces now that one is purified, and I will be good to go, and I will have more awesome gear that I can use, all at level 11 or 13 or whatever it is that the gear items are. The weapons are level 11, but the gear is like level 13, I want to say. And they're significant. I mean, I'll get into what that is probably in a video if people care and want to know more about it, specifically for that, and we'll just go ahead and figure that out. Now, I already have 2 pieces purified, so I have options already. When I put that stuff on, it's better than basically any set piece that I have. There's a few specific times when I need a specific item, but basically if I got enough of that stuff, I would just never stop. Now, the interesting thing about this is that because these are pieces like gloves, and these are pieces like boots and necklaces and this type of stuff, and bracers and whatnot, these aren't armor pieces, so no matter what class I'm playing, I can always use these. And that's kind of the benefit of that. Now, to go with that, by level 15, I'll be able to do this. Like level 14, I think, I can start to wear some dragon armor. Not all dragon armor. There are epic dragon armors where you have to be level 20. But there are some dragon armors I can just start to put on. And those are pretty sick as well. Basically giving you, like, you know, near immunities and really strong abilities to cast like fire spells, for example. And there is a blue, which is going to be lightning. There's going to be a white, which is ice, and there's fire, which is red, of course. There's also acid, but that is a higher level. So there's certain ones that are different levels. The black, so I want to say the white, the blue, and the baseline red are all like level 14. You can put them on. But then there is a higher level, like level 16, black dragon. There's also a red dragon, I want to say, at like level 20. There's a couple others. Yeah, and when you get to that, you're looking at in-game stuff. Again, I have my SOS sword, which I don't actually use in this. I have used it here recently. I was doing a dungeon that I didn't off camera, where I fought a gelatinous cube. Gelatinous cubes are one of the few slimes that don't actually split when you use an edge weapon, which this game does take into account. And it's a weapon I don't use a whole lot of, and it's adamantium, so it actually has a pretty good durability to withstand the acid of that ooze. And it meant I was not causing durability loss to my hammer I'm using here, my maul. But yeah, so that is a thing. One of the weapons I probably will get in the future is some sort of range thing. I don't know if I'm going to go with a sort of two-handed swords. I could see that being a thing too. Two-handed swords. Two-weapon swords. So a main hand, offhand type of thing. I could see that being a thing.
As the fourth seal
For like certain dual-wielding classes. Like Ranger, for example. I know fist wraps are a thing too. And that would be good for monk. I could potentially see not a druid, excuse me, a ranger dual wielding fist wraps, which could be interesting. I actually had at one point in time what I considered to be the rarest weapon of all times in DDO. And that weapon was a Metaline fist wraps +1 of pure good. Now, it doesn't sound like much. It is a random item. It is a ROG item. When I showed it to some monks, I had some what people probably thought was super good offers. I politely declined them and said, this is not a small item. This is an item that is designed for a person who wants to reincarnate as a monk 3 times and is specifically wanting this item for until a much higher level and is worthy of greatness. And they all agreed. They'd never seen it before. They knew it could exist, but no one had ever seen it. And I agreed, and they went on about their way. And then one day I got a message, hey, do you still have those Metaline wraps? And I said, yep. He's like, I want to see it because I don't believe it. I've heard about those wraps. People talk about your wraps. And I was like, cool. Sometime I'll show you a screenshot if I can find it again of the actual wraps. And put them in the trade window for him to look at. And he was like, I will be right back. We will talk about what you want. And he happened to catch me at a pretty good moment. And one of the things I wanted was a reincarnate stone heart, so I could have a true reincarnation. I wanted a respec stone. And I wanted some other little things like that. And I wanted about 600,000 plat in money. Over 500,000 now. You don't really use plat. So this is Delera. So I gotta fight Delera. If I would go after the creatures first, that'd be fine. While she beats on me, I don't need to. I just kill her and all the creatures die.
You feel the room's temperature fall rapidly as the last soul lock is open. Delera has been released.
But you can go for that if you're going for the extra kills. And now they've added where you can actually talk to her. But yeah, I ended up getting a whole bunch of things and an item. I got 20 epic red dragon scales, which were going for about 50,000 plat each at that point. Again, plat's not ideal. I have over 500,000 plat now. I could literally buy 10 if I wanted to, if they're still at that price. I have no idea if they are. But that allowed me to be able to make a suit of epic red dragon armor. To my knowledge, I still have those 20 epic scales. which is not terribly hard to get. You just have to do the Epic Dragon Quest, which could be a little tedious. You usually get one about every 3 times you do it. And you can buy it usually from people who are there or trade it. People will do trade with the dragon scales because that tends to hold more value than actually having the items themselves or having money itself. Because like I said, a lot of people, once they get there, they don't need money, they just need items. And that's kind of what it is. So yeah, anyways, that's a lot about this game that we haven't seen. I'm not going to say this has been an overly successful series. I don't know if people are into this Delera's Tome series. It's meaningful to me because you have Gygax talking about it and this type of stuff. I'm going to do a couple other videos coming up here soon in a completely different game, and then maybe I'll come back and do some more of this. But for sure, this is a thing I'm going to be doing on live stream every now and then, and I plan to be moving a little bit to Twitch. I've got class, be the best way to say it, I guess. It's a 14-week class, and when I get done, I'm going to have a lot more free time, and I'll be able to keep sort of a schedule. And when I do that, then this will be a thing I feel like I want to do. And which is going to be in addition to what's going on. When I get done with my class, I'm going to have a lot more time to put videos out. I'm going to be putting a lot more videos out again. I'm going to be doing a whole series on YouTube Shorts talking about original Dungeons and Dragon spells. So I'm probably going to be doing like one a day until I get all the 1st or 3rd level spells done for Arcane and Divine. And be moving on from there. Just to see if people are interested and people like that. I feel like it's one of those things that people don't really know what the spells were, how the game played, and it's just something I want to wrap around or round out or talk more about. And it's just a personal thing for me. When I get done with my original Dungeons and Dragons, I'm probably going to go back to my campaign I've been running. I'm going to be making some changes. I've made some improvements. I'm going to have time to be able to do this again. It's a good series. But I'm going to be making a little bit of changes and modifications to it to make it maybe reach a different group of people. And we'll see. We'll go from there. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. If there's anything specific, any of these older D&D especially type games or not D&D games that are kind of roleplay or action type of things like this, let me know which one do you think you want me to do. Also, I have a YouTube channel. It's got a couple videos on it, so it exists, but I'm not posting there yet, called Zone Plays Games. A lot of my future DDO content, if we don't really pop off here in a major way, is going to be posted over there. Same thing with other video game stuff. And I have plans for Pool of Radiance, all the SSI games that came out in the 90s, this type of stuff, as well as like EverQuest 1 and 2, World of Warcraft, Path of Exile. These are all games I'm going to be playing over there because these are all things I enjoy playing. I have the Diablo series, 1, 2, 3. I haven't bought 4, but I could get 4 easily, obviously. But I was literally playing Diablo 1 going, yeah, I need to make videos on this. This is fun. But yeah, I have a video I'm going to be editing for this channel for EverQuest 1 and 2. My EverQuest 2 is actually done before my EverQuest 1. But that's because I had some technicality issues on EverQuest 1. It's hard to actually get playing. I'm playing on what they call the P99 server. If you've heard anything about that, let me know in the comments. But on my desktop, where I'm actually shooting this video, I'm able to play just a regular EverQuest 1. and there are these things that are called time lock progression, and I think that is really cool. Probably something I'm going to do on the other one, and probably on the Twitch live stream stuff, where you go and play and it's just like you were playing in 1999. You start off with the first expansion, you get level 50, then the next expansion comes out and I think you go level 60, and then the next expansion comes out, and I don't know if there's one, and then eventually it gets to like Luckland, and that's when things get crazy. And then I think you get Planes of Power after that, and that's when things go off the walls for most people. But they make a lot of changes to like actually having auction halls and this type of stuff, and it gets out of the corridor where everyone has their character standing for auctions and that type of thing. But anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, if any of this stuff perked your interest, thank you for hanging out for an extra few minutes past the fighting ending, and let me know in the comments down below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Keep rolling those dice, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.